Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to talk about a loadout for Star Wars Battlefront that will absolutely wreck everyone in the Battle of Jakku. Now, I've been playing a lot of the Battle of Jakku. I love it, especially on the Turning Point game mode. And there's a whole bunch of loadouts I've been playing around with, trying to find the ultimate loadout that will work. And I've come to one here that I think is great for both defense and offense, and just has amazing ranged capabilities, but can also hold its own in close quarters. Now, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, you can see I'm running the Scout trait, and you can rank this up pretty easily on Jakku just from getting kills from afar, and that will keep you off the minimap entirely. If you hit rank 2, you won't be detected when firing your weapon, which is just infinitely useful on this map. Since it's so big, wide, and open, staying off the minimap allows you to flank tons and tons of people. Now, the primary weapon I've chosen for Jakku is the E11, this classic iconic weapon. It's extremely good for this map because it is great at medium to even longer range engagements. It does considerable damage per shot, up to 35 at close range, and it will drop off down to 15 at the most extreme range of 60 meters there, and that'll still allow you to drop people and kill them, especially if they're stationary. You start mixing them some headshots there and you can kill them a lot faster than you might think. The E11 is a good universal consistent weapon, but if you know you're especially going to be engaging at medium and longer ranges, it is probably one of the best ones to pick. It's just highly consistent. Now, of the 3 star cards in this loadout, the first one I want to talk about is the Pulse Cannon. If you haven't used this gun, you should. Get it unlocked. You don't necessarily need to upgrade it. I didn't find it really that useful to have a faster cooldown on this weapon. It cooled down just fast enough for me to get as many shots off with it as I really needed from it, but it basically is a one-shot kill sniper rifle if you charge it up all the way. You don't have to aim for the head, which is really nice because your magnification isn't good enough to really zero in on headshots too consistently, but the travel time is so incredibly fast. The one learning curve of this weapon is that when you fire, it does shoot like just a split second after you release the trigger, so it's not an instantaneous shot after releasing the trigger, and once you get used to sort of the firing mechanics of this gun, you can hit all your shots. Now, before you start screaming about how this pulse cannon is overpowered, there are a few things that kind of slow it down. First of all is the charge up time. I mean, you can't just back-to-back fire with this weapon. It's got a pretty long cooldown between each shot that you take, so keep that in mind. Plus, there's a charge up time for it before you take the shot, and when you release from the charge up to actually shoot the weapon, there is a short delay. So if you are zigzagging or trying to make yourself a hard target to hit, it can be very hard to zero in on you with the pulse cannon. There's many ways to sort of deflect this weapon. Also, personal shields will make you invulnerable to its shot. And without question, it is a far more useful sniper rifle than the cycler rifle. I used the cycler rifle a lot during the alpha. People complained about it. It got nerfed, so it's just not a very good sniper rifle anymore. Maybe they'll buff it a little bit more in the future, but until then, the pulse cannon is definitely the way to go. Now, as for the second star card, also known as the charge card, the one that you would need actual charges to activate, there's a lot of ways you could go, but I really think the personal shield is incredibly useful for Jakku, simply because of how open the map is and how many times you're going to start taking fire when you're out in the open and don't have a lot of cover to hide behind. You'll need to activate that personal shield to stay alive to get to the next piece of cover, and also when you're pushing onto a point or defending a point as Rebels or Empire, this is a great way to sort of stay alive and maybe go in for some close range melee kills or just keep the point alive. And then, of course, the last star card that I have is the jetpack, and I think this one is possibly the best star card in the game. I mix it into pretty much every loadout I run with because it's great for getting on top of tall bits of cover, tall areas so that you can snipe from it for this loadout specifically. It's great for escaping a situation, especially when you combine it with the personal shield. You activate the personal shield on a point, too many guys are coming in and rushing you and you got to get out of there, just use the jetpack to get away. Or you can even use it as a way for assaulting, getting over walls, getting over debris, getting up to areas where people can't expect you to be or can't get to themselves. It just gives you a huge range of ways to attack people, and I love having mobility options. Even if this is primarily a long range class, the jetpack is just something that's going to be useful all the time. Also, out of the 3 star cards I've mentioned, I've upgraded 2 of them, the shield and the jetpack, but if you had to pick 1 star card to upgrade, I would say do it to the jetpack. Having a shorter cooldown on the jetpack is incredibly useful. Even if it is only a few seconds shorter cooldown, it's still something that you're going to want. I mean, I can't recall the amount of times that I've been watching that jetpack card cooldown and just waiting to tap it again to try and get out of a dodge or get into the action a little bit faster. Now, if you're one of those people who really likes to play Star Wars Battlefront in first person, Jakku might be one of those maps that you're going to need to switch to third person perspective. It's just too valuable to peek over obstacles in this map with a third-person camera. It sits significantly higher than your head, so peeking over just even sand dunes themselves is so useful. And you've already seen a ton of that in this video, is me having an angle on my opponent, being able to see exactly where they are, and them not having any sort of line of sight on me, simply because I'm using that third-person camera. If you're still using first person, strongly consider switching over, because even though I personally prefer the looks, the aesthetics of a first person camera, third person is just unbeatable in Star Wars Battlefront, especially on Jakku. And look at these guys that I'm flanking who don't even know where I'm attacking from because I have my scout perk ranked up all the way. I mean, you only need rank 2, and when it's on rank 3, it means that your gun cools down after every single kill. So it's perfect for flanking, because once your weapon cools down, you can engage the next target, no problem. So also remember that when you're playing Jakku, if somebody's camping on a spot, they won't show up on the radar on the minimap. If they're walking and not running, they also won't show up on the radar. If they start shooting without the scout upgrade, then you will see them. But if they do have the scout upgraded to level 2 and they start shooting, you're not going to see them. So just always be looking around yourself, the environment, see where the laser blasts are coming from. They're very easy to see, so just follow the shots, and if it's not a friendly, then get ready to engage. Anyway, if you're not already playing the Battle of Jakku, it opens up on the 8th for everyone, and I would suggest getting this loadout ready. If you don't yet have these loadout cards, or if you want to upgrade some of these loadout cards, I promise you, you will be quite happy with it once you get in game. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.